Welcome back to another video. So today we're using a different camera. I have one of these I don't know what to describe it, but it's like a POV camera that I've seen a lot on Instagram, all this kind of stuff, where you have a thing around your neck and it magnetics to, and then it's a POV camera. So I picked one up the other day, so I want to see how it works. So drop it. It basically clips on. Now you have POV of all the stuff that you're doing, so I can work. And that's something I've been actually wanting to get a hold of, is something like this, because that way I can continue to work and do what I want at the same time recording, and I don't have to have the camera set up. It just, this right here is just going to make it certain things so much better. So today we're barely just going to be working in the garage. I've got to get a lot of this stuff cleaned up. So as we're working, we'll be talking. So like the scooter, like I've got it. I just basically haven't done anything since the other day when I did the compression check on it, all that kind of stuff. It's still, no compression. I'll just show you again, but like, and put the key in, start it up, and then basically, see right there, it's hard to see, but it's like 27, 28, not good. So, all right, back to cleaning. So I did find a rebuild kit for that motor, and a rebuild kit for it is only $40. So basically $40 for piston. Back up here. So it's piston, head, and a whole bunch of other stuff for it for $40. So we're going to wind up ordering a rebuild kit for that, because it's only $40. So, and then I've done some researching also, and I think what happened to this is the oil pump on it evidently might have stopped working, and it might have stopped pumping oil. So if it's not pumping oil, then there's no lubrication going into the motor, which in turn can lock that thing up. And I think that's what happened, was there was no lubrication, there was no oil, which in turn that motor locked up, which does suck. But at the same time, it's, wow, there it goes. It's not the end of the world. So basically what I'm going to do is we're going to rebuild it, of course, but then I'm going to go ahead and do the oil pump, delete all that kind of stuff on that, because I don't want to run into that issue on that ever again. So we'll wind up taking the oil reservoir off and all that kind of stuff, dropping that, and then we will just go to mixing oil in the tank. To me, that's not a huge deal. That's not something that I'm going to be stressing on, because like my four-wheeler, my Polaris four-wheeler does not have the mix on it either. It's got the oil tank on it. The oil tank is actually full of oil. I guess that's something I need to do, is I need to drain that oil out and plug that up. The only reason the guy that I got before me had left it in there was because he didn't want the light to be on. So it's like, if you basically drain all the oil out, the oil light will come on. The same with that right there. So basically, you can bypass the light. You can get into, open up the thing, take the light bulb out. That's not a huge deal, at least in my book. At least I don't think. So basically, that's one thing I'm going to do is, man, we have so much stuff. What is this here? It's garbage. Code scanner. Do I need a thing for my battery tender? I really don't need this. We're going to keep it for now, though. But like I was saying, it is. I know I had. We'll just put that there. What was I saying? Now I forgot. You know, removing the oil pumps, removing the lights, that's not that huge of a deal to me. This is the other mirror for that. I've got to figure out a lot of places to put stuff. I've got so much stuff. We've got to go do some inventory, do some moving, all that kind of stuff. So there's certain things that I'm not going to like stress on aspect wise of like this. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure that the oil pump blew or stopped pumping oil, because that's what has happened to other people and other machines. So is what it is. Well, I mean, I might as well take this off. That's what I'm, out here to do also. Just go ahead, we gotta put all this stuff back. Come on. The fitting is still in the motor. Yeah, I'd rather, like I said, I would rather mix the oil on this thing, so that way I know that it's getting oil into the tank, into the motor. Because with the pumps, it's like you really don't know. It's kind of like you're hoping, especially on something like this. This is a 1986. You're hoping the pump works. Well, I was hoping the pump works. Well, it didn't. Like I say, not the worst thing. Let's see. I'm not gonna like fully put this thing back together. Because when let's see, probably when I get paid Friday, I'll go ahead and order the parts for this. So again, like I say, yeah, that's a disaster up there. We'll get to that. But where was my Phillips? I want a Phillips screwdriver. All right, these go in here. These in here. Okay, here we go. We'll disconnect the ground on the bike here. That way the motor's just not plugged in. And also, while I'm tearing it apart, just easier. They don't have to worry about nothing. There we go. Alright, I'll take my key inside with me when I go in. We'll set that there. Alright, we're slowly getting everything organized in here. Because we will wind up getting the Corvair back in here in the next day or so. Because it's been sitting outside. At least it's not in, you know, the nest. Well, I mean, it's in the elements, but you know, man. All right, so that goes there. This is extra pieces for that goes there. This needs to go into the Silverado. That, I know, we're just keep adding things to this shelf. Not, I know this is for the, that's for the car, that's for the car. All this is for the car. Where do I have an empty bag? Really? How many of these lights did this thing come with? It was supposed to come with 4. There's 2 on that. Didn't I just put 2 in here? Nope. I only put 1 in there. Okay. Guess I can't count. Yeah, I have a whole extra underglow kit. This is the remote for it, but the remote for the Silverado, it broke. So basically this underglow kit is super cheap anyway, so I went ahead and bought it just for a remote that freaking works. Which, the remote breaking, that was my own fault. Gotta get that on there. Alright, so yeah, like here, add this to my collection of junk over here that I need to freaking organize. Alright, so this is brake pads for the 4-wheeler. This is for the Silverado, because I want a backup camera on the Silverado. This is scooter parts. I should put the shock with the scooter. So I'm going to keep this, even though it does not fit on here. We're still going to keep it because you just never know. This is a brand new shock and you could use it for something. Who knows? So this is going to go with the scooter stuff. Eventually we need to find a good spot to keep the scooter stuff. We'll get to it. We're getting to it. The Honda, we will be getting on the Honda within about a week or so. I've got to finish this, what I'm working on now, which is getting the garage organized and cleaned and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, I've got a video or 2 that I want to get done on the Corvair. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and get on the Honda because, you know, there's the power steering pump right there for it. And more stuff for the Honda under there, all these bolts and all this crap. So we've got, that's why I was like, that's going to be the next thing right there, is we got to clean this up. Pretty much got everything over here, you know. This is 4-wheeler, like there's just sticker bomb. Got this, lug nuts, which I need to put lug nuts. Well, we might as well do it. We're working. Don't leave them out when there's a tote for everything to go in. So these are the lug nuts for the Kona. Tote for the Kona. Like I said, don't leave it out if you have a place to put it. This I need to get up for sale. Got another freaking... Like I said, I've been working in the garage and in and out for the last like month and have not been cleaning or keeping clean or organizing or anything. Like I said, that's got to go. All right, now we have just a disaster of things over here. This, I want to get the Honda stuff all separated. I guess here, this is Honda stuff. That's Honda. That needs to go in the Honda. It's not Honda. Yeah, it's still Honda stuff in a way. It needs to go in the Honda. I took it out because I needed to borrow it for something. Now I got something else, so we can put that back in the Honda. That can go there. Extensions. That's trash. Got a Sharpie. Hammer. Go there. Alright, so 14, 12. Ooh, that's a 12 for over there. That's a 14 for there. That's a 12 for there. Don't get stuff mixed up. Alright, sanding disc goes into there. Alright, so that's Honda. These are not, let's separate. So Honda, 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 Honda. Extension, little gasket there. More bolts. Another extension. Screwdriver. Pliers. Another extension. You do not belong in that drawer. And then this stuff, I think that's what came out of this bag right here. Put that there. And dirty. And I'm missing one of these right here, so I have no idea what happened to them. Like legit, I'm missing a pole for my carport in the backyard. So I have three. There's 5 holes. I have 3 right here, and I have 1 in the backyard. So the other day I had some kids that were roaming around the yard, and they were stealing stuff. And well, wound up catching them. But I guess that's something that I'm missing now, is one of these. It's not end of the world. I can get something like that back and find one, but it's like, you know, not the point. Like, don't like lose them behind there. So yeah, I'm missing a freaking rebar. Okay. Well, I guess that's about as good as the garage is gonna get. Let's see, these are all my used-ish rags. There's that, there's that, there's that. This one's still clean. No, it's not. Yeah, that goes dirty. Okay, so I think I've got the garage clean. Once I get the Corvair done what I want to do outside, we can pull it back inside, get it out of the little bit of elements, because it's rained once since I took it outside. So we'll get to that probably tomorrow. But the garage is clean. We can pull the Corvair in. Yes, clears this, clears this, clears that. I ain't worried about that. This needs to be taken outside and wiped or washed up. But for most part, garage is clean and ready to roll. We'll get that white. We're gonna, well, yeah, that orange. I don't know who was thinking about orange inside of that Corvair. That was horrendous. All right. Besides that, everything is good to go. Garage is clean. Pretty organized. Honda stuff there. Got more Honda stuff there. Like I said, we're working on the Honda. Next couple videos, we'll be getting into the Honda. Got some Corvair stuff. Got this all organized. I think we're good to go. That was my main thing, as I wanted to try out this camera, just see how the POV was, and which really, honestly, I have no idea how it is until I go to do this video. So, hoping for the best. So, garage is clean, garage is organized. I think we're good to go. Now, I guess, call it a day. We'll get on the Corvair tomorrow and keep on rolling. All right, I guess we'll catch you in the next one.